Welcome back to our YouTube channel, guys. My name's Ardil and today's video is all about VW T5.1. It's actually episode 2 of Behind the Sound, where we talk and give you guys a bit more of an insight into what goes on behind the scenes. Today's video is all about giving you guys that update. We're talking about how the speakers are actually fitted into the vehicle, as well as a little bit more about amplification, how the system is all coming together, plus obviously the very key important part of soundproofing the vehicle too. So let's get into it. But before we get on to today's video, make sure you guys at home have subscribed to our YouTube channel, because we've got a massive competition live on our channel at the moment. We're giving away a brand new PlayStation 5 as well as an Audison Amplifier. All the details are in the description below. However, let's get on with today's video. So looking inside the actual door, I'm going to talk to you about some really key important parts. Let's start off with then the actual component itself. We've got the Hertzmille Legend 6.5-inch woofer, which provides a massive difference in mid-bass performance. Not only is the product developed and designed in a unique manner to work solely within car audio to make them sound absolutely amazing, but also this is a phenomenal product. In terms of how we've actually done the install, guys, so a couple of key things I want to talk to you about. Firstly, you'll see this grey plastic material here. This is what's called a skins water guard. What a skins water guard actually does, and the importance of it and adding it in to this particular vehicle, is because this vehicle has something called a wet door. Basically what that means is when it rains or when the car is being washed, for instance, water drips through here from factory, and this is a factory design and a lot of cars have it. It's not a fault with the vehicle. The water basically flows through and exits out from the bottom of the door. What that means is that the components inside this door need to be protected from that. So this, what you can actually see here, is obviously protecting the cone from this side, but also actually dealing with some of the waves that are actually following through into the vehicle. Obviously the door card sits quite close up to here, and those waves are then obviously from this being directed into the vehicle a lot more clearly, basically. But from behind here, it's actually protecting the back of the component, back of the magnet, as well as the actual spiderweb design behind the scenes to stop any water dripping on that and causing any corrosion. So a really useful bit of kit, and it's very important on these vehicles. So that not only is a very important part, but I want to talk to you about the actual ring behind it. What we've actually got is a spacer ring that allows us to house the actual Hertzmille Legend component, but these are completely 3D printed in-house. And one really nice little touch that we've got here is actually the Cambridge Car Audio name listed and imprinted into the actual component itself. Obviously this is all designed completely in-house. In terms of how that is actually mounted to the door, what we've got is a little hole which is actually part of the 3D printed design. So every element is thought about. That is all cloth tape with the cable coming out to an XT60 connector, which is again cable tied and cloth tape throughout, reducing rattles, resonation, which will move through a bit later on. But as you can see here, everything cloth tape, all nice and neat, but also secured in a really nice way with a removable connector. This XT60 connector means I can remove this speaker, remove the component completely from the door, and easy access behind the door itself, behind this panel here. So a really nice way of doing it, and this is all using connections grade cabling behind here. Just a high quality cable providing brilliant power delivery from the amplifier to give perfect delivery to the new component. It's now time to talk about adding some serious bass into the vehicle and how we're achieving that. We're actually utilizing space that is just not used whatsoever in the vehicle and just lost space, but it's a perfect position for our sub to go into. Inside here, underneath the actual factory driver's seat, in this little box, we've actually got our custom sub box built into the design and shaped around the actual platform of this box as well. And then this is housing the Audison 10-inch sub, a really nice low profile sub that fits in discrete locations just like this. And this is all powered from that 5th channel of that Hertzmille Power 5, running a load of power directly to this. One thing you might be thinking, well, if it's underneath my driver's seat, it might be kind of quite disturbing, obviously, whether it's right underneath you. What actually it is, you actually got a little dial which you can knock it back and turn it up. But bass is what's called a non-directional sound waves. That lower end of that frequency range actually is completely non-directional. As you go from high to low, that directional kind of atmosphere, as you would, basically goes away, and as you go lower, it's non-directional. So going under the seat actually utilizes a perfect position of unused space to add in a product like the Audison 10-inch sub. So underneath the actual passenger seat on the vehicle, we actually got two products here. We've got the Thinkware iVolt battery, which will have a full separate video on the dash cam install. However, what we're talking about is the audio, and what we've got is the amazing Hertzmüller Power 5 amplifier. It's a 5-channel amplifier that sits directly underneath the passenger seat, completely out of the way, but provides a lot of power to the system. We've run connections wiring from the battery all the way to the amplifier, as well as earthed out directly underneath the seat. It's a really nice location because everything can be really stored neatly underneath here, and it's utilizing space that just isn't used at the moment. So what we've actually managed to do is actually install this onto a custom baffle sitting on the floor of the vehicle. What this 5-channel amplifier does is actually runs all 5 channels of the system, running what's called fully active as a front end of the vehicle. We've got the tweeters, which will be on the A-pillars, which will be running off channels 1 and 2. Channels 3 and 4 will be running the Miele Legend woofers in the actual door cards themselves. Then the 5th channel will be running the sub that's directly actually underneath the seat I'm sitting on currently. So now talking about a very important part on the system, which is soundproofing. You would have heard in plenty of our behind the sound videos. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go check them out. Episode 1 is actually linked for it, is right up here. But if you guys know the benefit of had a car that's had soundproofing done, comment below, let us know what your actual thoughts are and your impressions of having a soundproof vehicle done. Let us know how much of a difference it makes, because honestly, we do believe it makes a world of difference. What the actual problems from factory on any panel is actually just large expanses of metal, like from here to here. Large expanses of metal aren't covered. They're basically just sheet metal, same as the back of the door card the other side, same as your plastic door card, just large areas of plastic or metal work that is not covered. And what happens is sound waves are moving all around the vehicle, plus you've got all the road noise and everything like that. Everything's happening in one place, but this metal and plastic is basically just flapping around and creating not only a loss of sound in terms of sound waves going through the back of the speaker out of the vehicle, and also it's actually rattling like crazy behind the scenes, which causes issues obviously acoustically, but also can cause issues later on along the line as well. So soundproofing is an important part of doing a system. What is soundproofing? Soundproofing is what's called skins 3mm layer is what we use because of the quality of the component. You would have seen on all of our installs, we try always to use the highest possible component in every single install. Reason for it is because sonically it's going to sound a lot better, but the skins 3mm layer is a perfect solution to adding in, especially into a vehicle like this. We've added in around about 70 sheets into the vehicle, which covers the front doors, rear doors, boot, the whole of the interior in terms of the outside shell is all acoustically soundproof now. What we've actually got here, soundproofing is a bit bigger than an A4 page in terms of the actual size of one sheet. And that gets manipulated around key areas like we've got here. So you can see a little cutout for this little clip as well as this factory 2 grommets. The reason why we've not covered those and covered this cable is because of someone else maybe potentially needing to access those cables or that connector at a later stage. So we think about all the stages later on that you might need the vehicle service, someone else might need to go into the door, we might need to go back into the door for whatever reason. You know that we have actually thought about the whole system in terms of future proofing. That's why all these connectors are all completely apart from everything here, and we've not covered them up at all. But obviously you can see all the large expanses are now covered with the soundproofing, creating a better acoustic environment for the system to work in, getting rid of those rattles and resonations, but also it's actually reducing a lot of the road noise that you get from any vehicle as well. So it's a massive, massive part of doing a system. Hopefully you guys at home have enjoyed today's video. You've seen a little bit more of an update about where we are up to on the VW T5. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. We look forward to seeing you all very, very soon.